Okay, so we have UAE. UAE. I was wondering why UAE. There's no headlines. There's no news. Finally, something has come up. Well, there are a bit of UAE-based news, which I'll give you, and then I'll read out this article, and I'll give you my thoughts. So first, let's move on with the few announcements. UAE will be coming out with a couple of major announcements after Ramadan. Not now. Maybe somewhere in Ramadan to create the hype, but definitely after Eid. And they'll be centered around new projects. They'll be centered around new investment opportunities. Expo 2020 will move full swing. New job openings will be coming up. Yeah, basically they just want money flooding into the market. So get ready for during Ramadan the announcements, but after Eid major developments. Okay, that is why now you will not hear anything in the newspaper. That's why everything is quiet. And those of you who are looking for job changes or applying for jobs, I would say that prepare now, because Ramadan is coming. Ramadan, everything is anyway dead and sleeping. So 12th of April till 12th of May, I think. Yeah, around a month. After that is Eid, which obviously will be a holiday. But you can definitely expect the market to start exploding. So mid-Ramadan is where the advertising will start to generate, to keep people's money ready, because people will be wanting to spend, especially during the last phase of Ramadan. And Eid, the retail outlets will encash on this. So expect a lot of sale. There will not be a sale in the sense there will not be many discounted offers, but pre-Eid will be old stock. Post-Eid will be, stuff that is not yet sold. They'll want to get rid of all of it. And yeah, like I told you, jobs, remember, for those of you interested in all these, applying for new jobs or seeking new jobs, apply during the month of Ramadan if you are not in the country, and apply online, because physically nobody will want to meet you. There are lesser number of working hours per day, so they'll just avoid meeting anyone, because work target will be the same, but number of hours will be less. So you definitely want to complete maximum work. All right, now let's move on. And yeah, if you have any information, just give me. Oh, one more thing, there was this guy, Syrian businessman, who told me that many people whose visas have been cancelled are stranded in UAE because they can't go back to Africa, they can't go back to Syria. I mean, what would you do in these war-torn countries? So they've just left them. In fact, there are even people from Vietnam and all that who are just in a limbo. They don't have the release papers, and they can't travel anywhere. So just thought I'll update you on this. Okay, now what is the news? Yeah, this one is from CNN. Okay, for those of you who keep saying that I read fake news, this is CNN, and I'll put the link down below. This is what it says. Abu Dhabi and Jerusalem, CNN. The United Arab Emirates has publicly distanced itself from Benjamin Netanyahu over concerns the Israeli Prime Minister was using Abu Dhabi to boost his prospects in the upcoming Israeli elections. I don't know why is this surprising. Everyone does this. Everybody does this. What do you think, Donald Trump? I like Donald Trump. I support him. But do you think he will not do stuff to boost his ratings? Now Joe Biden, the same guy, was busy shaking hands with Putin when Obama was there. What do you think grandpa is trying to show? He's a tough guy with Putin. Oh, you are a killer, you'll pay a price. What fucking price? Mera lauda. My ball sack. That's what you'll show. The old man can't climb his fucking aircraft stairs without falling over. 80-year-old guy breaks his foot by playing with his dog. He's telling Vladimir Putin, oh, you'll pay a price. Oh, I'll show you. It's like, this Indian actress in India, She has some Y commando military protection from all the political parties. And then on Twitter, she's like, yeah, show me your guts. Come on, come and show me your guts. Yeah, you hide behind all this military power and talk big. Who the fuck will, who can show you guts? Come alone, stand in front of a killer and then talk. Then we'll see your balls, no? It's like this, there's one Indian TV host, his name is Arnab Goswami, calls himself a journalist, media personality. The only thing he does is shouting. Mr. So-and-so, I demand, blah, blah, blah. If you have the guts, if you have the courage, come and talk. And he hides behind military protection. But if you meet him on the road, face to face, and you ask him questions, he will keep quiet. He will not talk. He is very afraid. So it's very easy to talk. Like for example, me, even people say, oh, Eloy, you don't have guts. Why don't you come and talk right in a... Yeah, you talk... if I talk about Islam in front of Arab Muslims, what guts? They will chop my hand, chop my fingers, slice my face. Then is that guts? That's stupidity. So the point which I'm trying to tell you is, behind the... See, like I have a camera. Behind the camera, very easy for all of us to talk. Okay, that is why I don't go around telling people, oh, you have guts. I know myself. I have told you in my previous videos also, I don't have any guts. I don't have any mindless courage. And I don't need to have it. If having courage means going in front of someone and getting killed or getting in danger, getting my fingers chopped off, getting my bones broken, to prove it to some anonymous cunt like you, who's a freeloader on YouTube, who hides behind a free fake ID, what fucking guts? You yourself hide behind an anonymous, YouTube handle or Twitter handle, and then you talk. At least I have put my details, I put my house location, I put my phone number, I put my address, I put all this publicly. Have you? So what are you fucking talking, man? Guts. There is something called common sense, and then there is something called stupidity. What these buggers are doing is not what I'm doing. I'm not screaming and shouting and asking people to come and fight with me. No. The only thing I'm doing is reading out articles and telling the truth. Okay? Or my version of the truth. My analysis. What these guys are doing is screaming and shouting and saying, come fight me. So there's a difference between what we are doing. Okay? Hope that part is clear. And I wanted to address this because there are so many uneducated idiots online who will talk big. Okay? Next one. Where the fuck? The phone goes. Okay, open. So they are saying that this guy is using these elections. Of course, everyone does, yeah. Why be surprised? The diplomatic spat comes just 6 months after a historic normalization agreement known as the Abraham Accords, which was signed between two countries. The UAE signed the accords for the hope of opportunities they provide our people, not individual leaders. An Emirati official told CNN. UAE signed it to be in the good books of Donald Trump. Okay? UAE signed it because it wanted to be in a favorable position in comparison to Qatar. UAE signed it because Saudi and UAE are trying to be buddy and get favorable approvals from USA. They didn't do it because they are in love with Israel and they are in love with peace. And the most important reason why they did it is because oil prices are crashed, OPEC is not so strong as before, and biggest part of all, they have no money. The UAE has hardly any money. The money that it has, it can manage. Abu Dhabi has money. Dubai is bankrupt. Dubai has to pay billions of dollars, which it has defaulted twice. So, for those of you uneducated idiots who say, oh, Dubai has unlimited money. Which country has unlimited money? Please explain to me. Even United States is in a deficit of trillions of dollars. Trillions, not even billions. So you need to do some basic calculation. Use your common sense, which you don't have. Only thing you have is the internet connection. Then personalizing and politicizing the accords in this way demeans the historic achievement. There's no fucking achievement. This is all cheap shit publicity to save your ass. The UAE will not go down that road. Whether UAE or any other country, they go down a lot of roads just for politics. It's called politics. Why is it called politics? Because it's a game. The official added, Netanyahu, who faces a general election in 5 days' time, has taken to name-dropping Abu Dhabi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Zayed in recent appearances and campaign stops, billing himself as a facilitator for billion-dollar UAE investment projects in Israel, and suggesting his opponents do not have the same clout. Of course he will say this. I mean, what is the reason that he did it? Why do you think Donald Trump did it? Why do you think Netanyahu did it? Why do you think UAE did it? They did it for their own benefit, man. Donald Trump's election was coming up. Netanyahu's election is coming up. UAE wanted to fight with the, Qatar. It had problems with Yemeni Houthis. It didn't want US to question it. It wanted to remain in the good books because it was getting bamboozled even by the EU. Okay, then. The proposed UAE investment, Netanyahu said a week ago, is another means by which our economy will be propelled forward. I think that is another question that Israel public is faced with. Who will propel our economy forward? Now, who will propel our economy forward? Whoever is on that seat. Doesn't mean you. On Wednesday morning, Israeli radio, citing people inside the Prime Minister's office, reported that Netanyahu was set to fly to Abu Dhabi the following day. And after they leaked this information, I'm sure he had to cancel it. Just a few hours later, the Prime Minister appeared on radio himself, knocking back those reports and instead talking about a prospect of further normalization deals with Arab states. Yeah, we'll have more peace. I'll bring in more revenue, so vote for me. There are 4 more historic agreements around the corner which I intend to deliver, Netanyahu said. I will not travel to Abu Dhabi before the election. The reports that I would go are spin. I don't know who initiated them. I will go there later. Like they say, no, there's no smoke without fire. Then what else? In Abu Dhabi, officials made it clear they had grown frustrated with what they saw was internal electioneering by Israeli leader. Well, of course you have to distance yourself now. Because in case Netanyahu doesn't make it, they don't want problems with the next leader. Like Donald Trump didn't make it. They don't want problems with Biden. The purpose of the Abrahamic Accords is to provide a robust strategic foundation to foster peace and prosperity with the State of Israel and the wider region. Presidential advisor and outgoing Minister of State of Foreign Affairs Anwar Gargash tweeted on Wednesday. See, Israel, as long as they occupy Palestine, nothing is going to happen. Or let's assume you say Israel is innocent, Palestinians are evil. But unless Israel and Palestinians, the peace doesn't happen, nothing is going to happen. There'll always be tension between Arabs and Jews, okay? Last week, the UAE announced its plans to invest $10 billion in Israel. They make announcements left, right and center, will invest billions and trillions. Who the fuck is there to validate this information? Like, for example, you remember that some UAE-based businessman is going to purchase 100,000 bitcoins. Where the fuck is he? What the fuck happened? You'll make big pronouncements like this, get free publicity and then vanish. You remember the Arab who was going to pull an iceberg to UAE? Free publicity. Did he deliver? Nobody bothered after that. So you get free publicity, make your money out of it, leverage on it and vanish. You don't have to deliver, just announce. So like this, they announced 10 billion in Israel. Days later, the Ministry of Industry and Advanced Technology, Sultan Ahmed Al Jaber, warned that the plan should not be seen as politically associated. Yeah, it is politically associated. So why you're saying it shouldn't be? The normalization agreement announced last August and signed on the White House lawn a month later prompted a flurry of business dealings and warm exchanges between the two countries. The relationship likened to a whirlwind honeymoon. You should have especially seen the UAE, our UAE delegation, that chap. He was looking at the document, he looks so confused, he doesn't know what the fuck is he signing. I don't know if he could even read what was written there. He was just looking left, right, and calling someone, excuse me, what is it? Just check that video in the White House lawn. The UAE delegate, I don't know what is his name, forgot his name. He was so lost, he was like looking left and right and looking. Everyone else is signing. He doesn't know what the fuck is he doing. I don't know if it was a Pokemon document. You know, like how we sign the terms and conditions for Google and Yahoo and Gmail and all that, Facebook. We don't read what we are signing. Just install, finished. So Netanyahu himself has been keen for some time to travel to Abu Dhabi, a trip that would serve to underline his diplomatic achievements as he fights a tight election battle, but so far to no avail. Last week, the Prime Minister's office issued a blunt statement after Netanyahu was forced to cancel earlier plans to make the journey. The statement accused Jordan of nixing the trip by closing its airspace in an apparent tit-for-tat move after Israel modified the security arrangements of the Jordanian Crown Prince's planned visit to Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem. This election vehicle is passing by, so I'll stop for some time. So finally went. Okay, Jordan's Foreign Minister Ayman Safadi in an interview said with CNN's Becky Anderson was unrepentant. You renege on an agreement with Jordan. You disrupt a religious visit. You create conditions that made this religious visit on a holy occasion impossible. And you expect to come to Jordan and fly out of Jordan. Let's be serious here. Is that something that could be expected? Abu Dhabi also cited COVID-19 concerns as a reason for the last-minute cancellation. See, what are my thoughts in a nutshell? End of the day, this is just a fucking political game. Okay? Biden is nobody's friend. He will talk of Black Lives Matter. The people who are black will talk of Black Lives Matter. Don't expect anyone to be charitable, man. It's all a fucking business. It's just that people give you sweet talk. Because end of the day, there are idiots who fall for this sweet talk. In the game of politics, nobody is your friend. Okay? Whoever is in power is worth having a friends with. Okay? So whether Biden or Donald Trump, whether Netanyahu or someone else, whether UAE or Qatar or Saudi, they just only care about the larger interest both for themselves and the country. And they will be casualties. And if you're not smart, you will suffer. So for me, all this is like I tell people, there's no smoke without fire. So in the same way, this report about Netanyahu is very true. He's doing it to seek re-election. He's not doing it for the benefit of mankind and all that. So anyway, you guys let me know, what do you think? Am I right? Am I wrong? For me, it's very simple. It's a game of politics. You don't take it personally. They will only see what benefits them. And they'll say, fuck everyone else. We don't care. So these are my views. Let me know what are yours. And finally, last but not the least, don't forget, if you're looking at job searches in UAE, remember, Ramadan, everything is going to die out. So prepare hard, because the last week of Ramadan is where everything will explode. Then Eid, retail outlets will see a massive surge of sale. And after, what do you call that? After Eid is where Expo 2020 will be announced in a major way. Big things are going to happen. More projects, cash has to come rolling in, and they'll try their best to revive the economy. So keep me updated, keep me posted, any internal information, and I'll share it with you guys. Having said that, you take care. Let me know your thoughts down below. Okay? Ta-da.